Oh, and dun 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 dun. We got a player card. Okay, so this is the matchup we have today. Williams versus dohdah. Gonna be a human versus a night elf. Their current MMR for this season is 1453 for Williams and 1525 for dohdah. But dohdah only has 9 games so far this season, so it's pretty tough to tell exactly where he rates. And when I looked at his previous seasons, it was anywhere from like 14 or 1500 up to like 1600, 1700 type of MMR. So, and those seasons as well, he had very few games played, so it's pretty hard to tell. This will be a good indicator of exactly where he rates. And yeah, see how the match goes. And we'll just jump right into it. First map, we got Amazonia. And top right spawn, we got the yellow human, Williams. I know he was practicing a bit before this against Grinchy. He didn't seem to do exceptionally well in those matches, but maybe, you know, the little bit of practice will help him out here, and we'll see what he gets to do. And at the bottom left, we got dohdah, the purple night elf. I don't know much about him. It looks like he's going to go a tavern build, so already something interesting. You don't typically see a tavern build all too often these days, especially on a map like Amazonia, because of how good it is to just have an Ancient War creep on the lab right away. But tavern heroes can definitely be very powerful. There's Beastmaster, there's Panda, Pit Lord, Tinker, Dark Ranger. Some of those aren't always viable first hero, but if they do get levels as a first hero, they can be extremely strong still. So we'll see what he ends up doing. His archer's a little late here though. Maybe mismanagement of resource mining or an extra wisp queued. Williams on the other hand, just going standard build so far. I would have probably preferred his altar to be on the left side so his hero could reach the lab right away, because that's likely what he's going to creep. But that's just small optimizations. Generally you want your altar towards the camp you're going to creep first, because you want your hero there before everything else. Okay, see how he does the creep. He just kind of walks right in. He does get his water elemental tanking a bit, but he did, however, get the water elemental purged as well. However, there was no lightning shield, which is probably the bigger thing. And dohdah actually picked up a Beastmaster from the center and is coming straight across to harass at the start. This shouldn't be too great for him, but he might get the footman here. He did actually get the water elemental as well, which is pretty big. So not too bad for the night elf so far. However, generally I don't think this is that powerful of a play, because now he's just kind of going to be draining his wells a bit, and he's not exactly preventing an expansion or anything. But he's doing some good micro, keeping his Quill Beast out of range. The XP I believe was denied, but I didn't totally see it. Yeah, look at, after this fight, even though he picked up quite a bit of XP for the Beastmaster, I think he also detoed like 1 or 2 wisps, and he used almost like all of his mana, lost a ton of health, lost another archer there at the end, And to heal up his blade, or to heal up his Beastmaster after this is going to be extremely costly for the Night Elf, because it has to heal his mana and health. And he hasn't actually produced extra Moonwells. This wouldn't, I think this actually wouldn't have been so bad if he had a 3rd and 4th Moonwell. But right now he has a lazy Archer, he has no mana Beastmaster, and only 2 Moonwells. So it's going to be quite sketchy for the elf in the mid game. But we'll see how it progresses, see what he's able to do. Looks like he's going to pick off another peasant here. Getting closer to level 2, but it's really level 3 where Beastmaster starts to shine. And Williams, on the other hand, decides to back off, builds up an Arcane Vault, gets a tower because he's going to need an Arcane Tower eventually against Beastmaster Harass. And he's continuing to do some damage on the Beastmaster, but dohdah manages to keep himself safe from a surround, picks off the retreating footman. So good play by him. But yeah, we'll see what happens now in the mid game, because as we can see, the Beastmaster didn't actually get fully healed. He only has 2 quills left. This isn't exactly the fight you want to take as nwilliams though. I think it would have been better if he just continued creeping instead. But yeah. I think nwilliams' goal should have been get level 3 and then pressure, knowing that the Beastmaster is going to drain the wells. But as we can see, he's still kind of stuck at a little over level 2, and now dohdah is already tier 2, picked up a Naga, and is actually going to be able to put a lot of pressure on. Now after this fight, depending how much damage dohdah takes on his units and heroes, nwilliams could be in a great position. However, this fight didn't start great so far. It looks like he might be able to force a TP though, or possibly Cloak of Shadows. Definitely a TP now. Hopefully the TP was done properly. Okay, good. nwilliams did target it properly to the back of his base. And now he should hide, which he did. Very smart. Otherwise this quill would have cancelled the salve on the Archmage. dohda's wondering where the hero's at. He's like, what is this? How is your Archmage invisible? That's cheating. Nice by nwilliams to get the XP there. I think he was just out of range of the tower. And yeah, we'll see dohdah continue to try to keep pressure, but I'm not sure how well it's going to do. He only has 1 lore coming, doesn't have tier 3 coming yet. Beastmaster's only just over level 2. So I don't hate this from the human position, but we'll see what happens. This is a very interesting creep to take for the Night Elf, because this is going to put a lot of damage on his units, and with the MK coming out, that is 2 archer kills, I believe. Possibly a forced TP if his Beastmaster comes too close. Okay, we see him going for the Beastmaster. He will need another Stormbolt, but there is boots. And he ended up pathing his MK off. Oh! What is he doing? He rocked his Beastmaster sideways! Oh no, dohdah! Beastmaster down. I thought he was trying to maybe just bait the bolt and then portal out for some reason rather than just run, but he ended up just losing it. This is definitely good for nwilliams, but I do not particularly like this fight. Getting the 1 archer there is okay, but now he really needs to get out. Like, I guess with water elementals you can still do some damage, but this is a lot of archers, so it's a bit sketchy. And it's hard to actually kill much elf units when you're at the elf base like this. This is the type of play that would be good if nwilliams had an expansion, but as is without an expansion, he's mostly just feeding the footmen away for the value of draining the Moonwells. And I mean, it worked in terms of draining the Moonwells, but at some point the Night Elf will be having bears, and they will have another source of healing at that point. He did buy a potion though, which is very interesting. I don't know exactly when he bought that, if it was like just then, but it currently feels like a little bit of a waste of gold. I'm sure it will find value later though. And Williams, on the other hand, even though he lost a bunch of footmen, he still has a couple casters. He's heading to castle, and I think he's making a mistake. Maybe
a player's forces are
maybe just a little not aware at the moment, but he has 3 sanctums coming, or 2 sanctums already and a 3rd one coming up. Now, I'm not even a big fan of 2 sanctums against elf to begin with. I much prefer 1 sanctum for the human. Okay, he did cancel it. That's good. He realized. Yeah, I do think generally you only want 1 sanctum against elf to begin with, but
player's forces are under attack.
We'll see what he does with it. Maybe he did dual sanctum because of a beastmaster. Maybe he wants more priests and some breakers against it. Steal the summons. Or dispel the summons. Dohda's finally putting up a 2nd lore. Pretty late though, because he already has tier 3. And he's going straight into MGs rather than bears, which I actually do not agree with. It is good against rifles, but he hasn't actually seen rifles yet. And in fact, Williams is heading tier 3. So there should be knights along the way. So this play of straight into MGs is actually kind of
player's forces are under attack.
Bad for the Night Elf. Not only because of the human's army composition, but also because the Night Elf no longer has a good way to heal right now. All the wells are dry from earlier, which was achieved from the Beastmaster's harass costing him a lot of health, as well as the harass by the human after. So having some rejuve would have been extremely powerful right now. He did pick up a staff, but no Orb of Venom. Not that Beastmaster is a great carrier for it, but you can always put it on the Naga. And these MGs are a... Did he get spell resistance first? He has resistance skin coming, but I think he might have got... Or no. Yeah, I don't think he should even get resistance skin. It's really only good against like slow, but it's... I think it's less important than just getting units out at first. And Williams doing a decent push here. It would be nice if he had reached level 3 MK, but he didn't really split his XP properly from the Archmage for that. Invuln comes off on the MK, escapes a bit, needs to get one of the priests on it to heal. The Night Elf's trying to focus as best he can, but his Beastmaster is pretty weak, and we see the huge drawback here where his Moonwells are dry and it only just hit night. But this is the problem of Williams' army composition as well. He went dual sanctum rather than dual barracks, or you know, just even just 1 barracks, 1 sanctum, whatever. And it's really costing him here because he just does not have enough damage with these units. Breakers do not do enough against elf units. It's not like against orc where breakers can do a ton, or where the value of spell immunity is really high against like undead, for instance. Yeah, we see Williams having to back off here. He does have a paladin coming out. He produced a lone rifle, which I don't really agree with, but okay. I think maybe he could have got a rifle earlier, but now he should really just be making knights. And yeah, we see he doesn't really need this 2nd sanctum because he shouldn't really be producing from it anymore. It should just be knights plus a few supplementary casters.
A player's forces are
and so we should see a knight getting queued up here in a second. If he had his MK here, this would be a very nice creep check, but as is. It's just, he did actually force the TP though. Maybe Dohdah was afraid there was an MK coming, but the MK in fact only just came out. Williams should really make sure one of these creeps gets left for the MK, so he gets level 3 here. Also, I actually disagree with pulling the Archmage back right now with how close it is to level 4. The one time he actually pulls it back and I'm like, hey, send it back in. He really wants that XP. Level 2 Aura would actually be huge here. But he did get level 3 MK, and that's probably slightly bigger. He does have a Knight out. He has 1 damage upgrade. Focusing the Beastmaster right away. Beastmaster never really got fully healed because he still doesn't have bears and the wells are still not completely full. Switches focus to the Naga. It's dying pretty quickly as well. Heal scroll coming out. And we see him going back for the Beastmaster again, but there's no more bolts for the MK. He really needs a level 2 Aura here pretty quickly so he can start getting mana on the MK again. Paladin might be going down, but I think he has a staff. There it goes. And we should see the Night Elf backing off here, because otherwise the Beastmaster... Okay, he does use the heal potion. He wants to keep up the pressure. I think with the militia support, the human should be able to hold this off fine enough. He can hide with the MK if he wants. Paladin is healed now. He does need to get the militia actually in the fight though. He called them, which was good. But a little miscue here where they're rallied just to the altar rather than the fight. Paladin getting weak. He might actually die here, but I think there's a staff again. So, okay. Does pull it back in time. Archer getting picked off. These militia actually need to be sent back soon. And Williams is going to have to back off here. Or he's actually planning to expand or something. We do see the level 2 Aura starting to pay off though, because now the MK is really beginning to get a lot of mana. But chasing with knights like this is not really good, because Elf can turn and do a lot of damage quickly to knights. You really need your army compiled together for when the fight begins. He does have a staff though, which helps a lot, but now he left the paladin vulnerable with no invuln. And ooh, Dohdah barely manages to get that TP off. He had like 12 health left. That was pretty close. Yeah, still struggling a bit with his Moonwells. Does not have Wellspring or Wood at this point. Does not have Bears. I think as long as Williams does not overextend and take a fight when he doesn't need to, he should be in a good spot. But it looks like he is going to fight right away. I actually think Williams should just creep more. Get up a good night count, get inner fire master training on the priest, and then hit after. Also, it would be nice if he had his paladin. This is, however, going to work. He does manage to get the expansion, so I guess it wasn't bad. I think generally it shouldn't work because the elf was pretty close, but there were not enough wisps here to repair. The elf ended up finishing the creep here rather than heading straight over, so it ended up working out. And Williams got the expansion down, and now he definitely just needs to creep and build up his army, get his upgrades. He does have them queued already, and getting a couple upgrades on knights, as well as eventually inner fire, which hopefully is starting soon. He's actually getting sorcerer's upgrade right now, which
is under siege.
Is also very good to get, but I do think inner fire is kind of needed. Okay, Dohdah putting on a little bit of pressure, but his mana's low. Beastmaster's half health. He bought another potion. Very inefficient having to buy lots of potions rather than just having a couple bears with rejuve. And nwilliams just wants to get him out, so he's trying to focus heroes down. And if he can get us around here, it might actually work quite well for him. Or a slow. Sorcerer slow. Come on nwilliams, you can do it! Okay. Archmage kind of in an awkward spot now, needs to be careful. Does have a Holy Light, still has Cloak of Shadows if he wants. 2 Cloak of Shadows on his army actually. Okay, he does TP out. His MK does not have mana, so it was kind of awkward at that point. But with a quick regen scroll, a bit of macro to queue up some knights, which he does. 2 knights. As long as this expansion doesn't die by the time these 2 knights come out, and William should be okay here. He's got 2/1 upgrades. MK has at least 1 spell, should have 2 by the end. And once he has those extra knights come out, he should be able to put in a lot of damage. Dota's trying to do the same thing nwilliams did though, just go straight for the main, but he does not have clubs on his MGs, so it's not gonna work. we see another close call. 20 health Beastmaster TPing out. Naga also weak. So nwilliams did succeed in saving his expo. I actually think it'd be nice for him to just send these 4 peasants over, build like, or like 3 of the peasants over, build like 2 more here, and then buy a shredder or something, rather than just queuing up 5. Or I mean, you probably don't even need to buy the shredder yet, but you could buy it later once your wood starts dwindling to like 300 or so. Yeah, maybe, or actually the mine's running out. He could have just, yeah, sent those. Doesn't even need to build any peasants. He should really cancel these. But it looks like he's doing some big brain plays, maybe, with some militia. I'm not sure. And Dota ends up putting aggression on again. nwilliams immediately TPs. And he should be pretty good here because the Beastmaster is quite weak, only has 1 heal potion. He does have a TP, but if he has to TP out, nwilliams just continues to build up. I do think nwilliams should really just attack more. Knights are actually pretty strong against MGs, especially unupgraded MGs. I don't think he needs to go this aggressive for the hero. He's actually going to lose his Archmage now. Had a cloak, but did not choose to hide with it. Yeah, a little over aggressive by nwilliams. Definitely did not need to go for the hero. Knights will kill MGs when they don't have upgrades.
Town is under siege.
But now he, after losing the Archmage, the Naga reached level 5, and now it's actually extremely scary for the human, because Naga's Forked Lightning will actually give the Night Elf enough damage to clear Knights. But yeah, as we can see, he's finally attacking some MGs here, and look at it, they're dying. If he had just done that from the start, rather than full-on chasing the Beastmaster, I think he could have been in a better spot right now. But yeah, oh, he doesn't realize the Hawk sees him through Invis. MK down. Did the Paladin die as well? I forget. I think the Paladin might die as well. I thought it escaped, but yeah. This fight is really awkward. nwilliams is actually in a good spot here, surprisingly, even though he lost like all his heroes. But after the Moonwell heals, it could be sketchy again. Yeah, now he really needs to send like 1 or 2 knights to attack the Dryad, and then his heroes should be somewhat safe. He does pick off the MG though, which is quite huge, but he's going to lose this priest at some point, and his Archmage needs to buy a potion and probably hide. Okay, he buys a potion, should hide and then buy a TP after the Hawk comes out, I think. Oh, he's gonna get forked lightning. This Archmage is dead now. Oh no! No! He does finally pick off the Dryad. And we see an awkward fight again. It needs to get a knight to block. Oh, he might still get the Beastmaster. There is a TP though if it becomes really bad. Okay. The Night Elf escaped. But Williams is actually still in a good spot. What is going on? How often do you see two heroes against no heroes, but the two heroes is actually like behind? Williams does need to, however, get to the tavern and make sure he's getting XP for some of these kills. And now that there's no Dryads, he's actually in a decent spot. What happened to the tree? Oh, he did send it over, and it's trying to slap some of this stuff down. Yeah, Dota's gonna just deal with it directly now. And Williams should really cancel these. Okay, he has Archmage queued up, Paladin queued up. So maybe Tavern by the MK? We'll see. Getting a couple priests, definitely the right move, because that's what he needs is a couple casters right now. If he can get those couple priests out, a couple sorceress after, and then all three of his heroes. But actually in a decent spot again. I do think he should probably rebuy one of his level 4 heroes though, because otherwise it's going to be sidelined for way too long. But we'll see. And yeah, I would like to see either double Sork here or Sork plus Master Training on the Priest. This Hawk's actually incredibly powerful right now. Because the Priest... Okay, now that the Archmage is out, it's starting to look much better for Williams. He got water elementals, he got some mana for his priests again, Arcane Tower up, close to level 5. The Naga, however, is level 6, and he has started mining again. I do not know how this is going to result. And Williams really needs to not let his peasants keep dying like this though. He really ventured too far. I think until he gets all his heroes back, he should just literally be camping at his base here. But it looks like he might even lose this town hall if he does not focus the Naga. Because okay, never mind. He decided to cancel the Tornado. Tornado is actually extremely powerful against buildings. But he does go for the cancel. Oh, gets this around, but staff comes out. Really should also, I think, cancel the MK and just tavern rebuy it. Because if he does that, has all three of his heroes right now, and Williams would actually be looking pretty strong. He could force some fights, but we'll see. We'll see what he does. The play here is to make sure Elf does not get to your expo. That's the main play. If possible, you would of course like to creep the Paladin 3, the Archmage 5, with the Merc camps here, which also have high value items. But it's pretty hard to do that. And these Dryads are pretty scary as well. He really needs a Sorceress for Invis. I mean, there is Hawk, of course, but the Hawk has to keep up. And you can Invis before the fight as well. These Knights are definitely extremely scary though. Okay, he's going to split off some of his Knights. He's feeling confident enough in his army strength. I'm not sure how confident he should be, because Forked Lightning could put in quite a lot of damage here if he gets a couple off. Looks like he's conserving it right now, because he's not planning to fight, and he doesn't want it to just get healed out from the priest after. So we see the Knights coming in. Dota's circling back around, probably trying to pick off those Knights or pick off the casters, whatever he can manage to find. Yeah, these Knights putting in big big damage on that MG. They do like 40 something damage per hit right now against MGs, which is pretty insane compared to what most units do. And yeah, we see Dohdah's Expo going to drop here. And now all nwilliams has to do is play safe again. Don't lose your hero. Run away. Run away. Okay, MK is back. That should help a lot. However, he might still lose the Archmage. But he gets to surround on the Beastmaster in the meantime, and the Beastmaster will likely have to TP. Archmage does go down. Oh, he doesn't get the TP off! Oh no! Oh no. He calls it. He calls the GG and nwilliams does it! I gave the star to Dohdah, thinking Dohdah would potentially be 2-0ing this, but nwilliams takes the first game in one of the most awkward and messy games I've seen in a while. That was kind of crazy, actually. Like... oh my god. nwilliams had like no heroes for like half the last part of the game, and still managed to somehow scrape by and win it. That was pretty crazy. Oh my god. Whew. What was that game? The big thing is Dohdah just didn't have an Expo, and he didn't have effective healing the whole game. He never got any bears for rejuve. MGs are extremely powerful, but only if you can find enough healing elsewhere. And he didn't really manage to do that. His Wellspring was probably a little bit late if he got it. I assume he got it by the end. But it's probably a little bit late, and he ended up having to buy potions quite often rather than you know, just throwing out a couple rejuves here and there. So I'll just show the player card again, why not? So yeah, as we can see from this, I decided to give the star to Dohdah. I thought he would be advantageous here because even though he had few games played, it looked like his MMR was likely closer to 1550s to 1650, somewhere in there, based on like his previous seasons. But it, like I said, it's hard to tell when he had so few games in every season. But nwilliams showed he could do it, pulled out the win there in a very, very close game with some crazy hero levels. Elf had like 6-5 heroes, and nwilliams I think managed to get like 5-4-2 by the end or something. So yeah, looks like second map is going to be Echo Isles, and I guess this was Dohdah's pick, right? Because it would be his loser map here. So some night elves like Echo Isles, I guess. And yeah, looks like we're about to Naga 6 card. Come on, bro. There we go. Here we go. Into the game. Echo Isles it is. Top left, we got our human player, the victor of game 1, nwilliams. Looks like he's likely going to do standard opening again. And at the top right, we have our night elf, Dohdah, who is not going to Tavern Hero this time. His altar position makes me think he's going to do the Merc camp, and it looks like that is where he is sending his Wisp. I'm not sure if nwilliams is the type of player to send a peasant to cancel, but does not look like it so far. So this will likely be done safely from dohdah, unless nwilliams decides to do some instant all-in like tower push, but most likely not. Yeah, it looks like Elf will likely get a quick level 2. Is it going to be a Warden, Demon, Keeper? Demon. Okay. So he wants to get some mana burns off, and I honestly think that might work pretty well, but we shall see. I like Demon a lot as well. I tend to actually play Keeper though against Human, but I do think Demon can be pretty powerful, especially on camps that have Merc camps, because then you don't have to worry about the Human dispelling your entangles and trance early on. You instead just burn their priest or burn their hero. Get a lot of value that way. Lol. Okay, nwilliams looking to creep. Oh, he's just going the small green. I think if he's going to do a small green, it's better to creep this one, because if you creep this one first, then you don't have to backtrack at all. You can just go down to the bottom side and creep any of these camps without having to go back to the top side at all. But we'll see how it goes. Maybe he's planning to expand right away. Okay, it looks like he is. So maybe that was his goal. Just wanted to get the small green and then expand. Or no, he's going for the Merc camp still first.
A player's forces are under attack.
Let's see. dohdah appears to have done the creep fine. I think he has all the XP. Possible that he missed one of the small kobolds.
A town is under
He might have missed one of the small kobolds. I'm not actually sure how much the total XP is for that, but that's not a big deal even if he did. nwilliams, nice pullback on his peasants, but they could end up being a target of a harass later. Not as likely though, since he is facing a demon hunter this time. Oh, and he did have a footman in harassing wisps this whole time too. Manages to escape with it, but nice block by dohdah, which should get the kill here in just a sec. Yep. Very nice. Kind of a mediocre item for the night elf. nwilliams doing good creeping though. So I guess I get what his creep route is now. The small green, Merc camp, and expansion is level 3 and gets your expo up right away. I still think it wouldn't be bad if he had taken the top green first though, just because then he would have a closer small green to do after, and he would have a permanent item rather than a tome. But this is still fine. He's gonna have his expo coming up. Night Elf also going for a quick expo, but he is not level 3 yet. And the reason he's not level 3 yet is because rather than creeping the small green, he ended up chasing a footman around. So a little bit behind in XP. Also, I am pretty sure he denied a small kobold or something. Not positive, but I feel like he's slightly behind in XP from where he should be. Could pick off on a footman, but might be losing this archer if the archmage stops stuttering. Okay, archer does go down. See if he can pick off these priests. Needs to be careful with his archmage though. Focus coming out from the demon. And that's one of the things you have to do when you go demon, is get rid of the heroes. And very good by dohdah to do that. Does manage to hide the other archer. This ring of regen will help nwilliams a lot in the long run though. So it may have actually even been better to just go for archers and
Players' forces are under attack.
or to go for footmen rather than the archmage. But we'll see how it goes. And Williams going to get a pick off here on the priest in a second, I believe. Very nice. Will he get an archer or another priest? I don't think so. He's getting a little bit too weak now. Gonna lose his own priest here. Oh, he does likely get this archer though. So that's good. But the Night Elf has his expansion up. So it's going to just be a quick 2 base versus 2 base. And during this fight, the demon managed to reach level 3 already. And he is also tier 2, going Keeper second rather than Naga. Very interesting. Keeper definitely has some merit with when you have it as a second hero, you can go Entangle plus Thornzara rather than Entangle Treants. So if you're taking this into a long game against tier 3, Thornzara can actually be pretty decent against knights. I wouldn't say it's exceptional, but you know, it can help, I guess. Nice little pick off another footman from dohdah. And he's going to go directly into creep in the middle. Very good choice. Should get these middle camps when you can, and after he has chased nwilliams away, he can definitely do so. I do not mind him splitting the XP here between both heroes, because I think XP on the demon is still pretty valuable. If you can get level 5 earlier by doing this, then that's very powerful. Whereas the keeper really doesn't need a ton of XP. He doesn't get all that much powerful with levels. Like, his big power spike is honestly just level 1 when he first comes out with Entangle. And then, you know, if he's going Thornzara, it's just small buffs after that. Higher level Entangle isn't that huge because Dispel might be coming out. So, continuing to get XP with the demon, good choice. Maybe should have found time to sell a talisman though, especially because he had a shop at his expo. Okay, he's going for the expansion and cancels the tower. nwilliams a little bit slow on making the towers in the first place. Gets both cancels. And nwilliams is actually in an awkward spot because of that, because his army is not very strong. He does not have defend, and Entangle is just going to easily pick off any reinforcements that nwilliams brings. His only choice is to get rid of the demon, but demon already got a greater heal potion from the top camp. And this TP is going to be death, almost certainly. And nwilliams might actually call it here, to be honest. He does bring militia, but with his keeper dying, generally that's very good for the Night Elf when they have something like a Demon Hunter especially. Because if the Demon Hunter is getting lots of XP, it's pretty tough for the human to fight back. A little awkward by dohdah here to get his units caught, but nwilliams doesn't manage to kill them. He really only had 1 rifle and 1 footman there. The peasants came out of militia for him. nwilliams is going to stick around though. He does have double racks, so maybe that's why he thinks he can still slowly defend. And he might be able to, but even if he does defend, it's going to be extremely hard to come back against high level Demon Hunter. We'll see what he can manage to do though. Maybe with the massive Knights later, he'll be able to do something. Almost managed to escape that rifle, but mismicroed it back in a bit. dohdah on the other hand, having to pull his archers way back. There's actually no hero for nwilliams though, so he's not even getting XP if he gets any of these kills. dohdah, however, does decide to go for Treants rather than Thornzara. Maybe because he saw rifles already, or maybe just because he wants to continue to keep pressure here. I definitely think Thornzara could have been a decent choice and just spam Entangles. dohdah on the other hand after setting up his expo, has not really macroed properly. He has 2600 gold, which makes some sense now why he doesn't seem to be having reinforcements. He's got severe wood problems. He has like 2 wisps in his main and only like 3 here at his expo. So once he finally gets that under control, Dohdah should be able to quickly mass up to 80 and all in against nwilliams, but
forces are under attack.
we'll see what happens. Nice pickoffs for the demon. Should be able to keep picking stuff off. Needs to maybe micro this dryad away from the rifle though. Okay, I guess it's fine. Demon does enough damage where it's not a big deal if this dryad is getting hit. Would prefer not to get surrounded and lose your TP here though. Does manage to escape. Slippery little DH. And yeah, we see Dohdah finally starting to maybe produce stuff. Okay, rather than units, he decides to make another production building that costs 200 of his 200 wood. So it could be a while still for him to do stuff. Honestly, with nwilliams dual barracks and a sanctum like this, if he had maybe instead of castle just all in and bought like blood mage or naga, this could have actually been pretty scary for Dohdah even with his huge bank. But instead nwilliams decided to go for MK, which is not going to do too great against a level 4 demon. Might be able to get the keeper though with his 1 bolt remaining. Maybe. Too late. He got burned twice. No mana left. And even though defend is scary, you have to be able to deactivate it and activate it back on to be able to chase, because these dryads are way too fast otherwise. When we see the drawback of MK, he quickly ran out of mana and now just has to run back. I think with MK you really want to be creeping a lot more rather than pressuring, because level 1 MK is not that huge compared to level 1 blood mage or level 1 naga. And nwilliams is actually in an awkward spot without a TP on his archmage, so his archmage will likely die here. Very good decision making and realization by Dohdah to see that and just get him out of the fight. You know, these footmen are annoying, but when the heroes are gone, your heroes can eventually take them out over time. Does need to be a little careful with these dryads, but he isn't really feeding XP because nwilliams did lose both of his heroes. Okay, and we do see bears this time rather than MGs, fixing this problem of a lack of healing from last game by getting these bears out. Yeah, as we can see, this army is just kind of separated from everything. No heroes left. So he does actually manage to pick off the dryads and an archer, but he's going to lose all of this in return, and he's not actually getting XP. Demon, on the other hand, already level 5, which is actually very scary for the human, or very scary for any race really, if demon can manage to get 5. And Dohdah's finally able to start producing from all of his production. He's managed to get enough wisps. He has bears, dryads, a couple chimeras coming. He has already an 80 food max limit with 2 more moonwells, preparing for possibly 100 food. Should probably get rid of the talisman at some point. But yeah, he's got orb, he's got staff. Finally got rid of the talisman. TP, heal scrolls, invuln. He's looking very strong here. These couple towers aren't going to do much against this this big of an army. And Nwilliams just simply does not have enough units at this point. He's still trying to get all of his upgrades right now. Animal War Training, Sundering Blades, Damage Armor Upgrades, Sorceress Adept Training. And those type of things are just not going to help stop this. And as we can see, it's just a slaughter here. Expansion is going to go down. And Dohdah is not going to ease up on the pressure likely because Demon's already halfway to 6. He's got just about 80 food. And his own expansion has still been running this whole time. Has a second damage upgrade coming. Gyro's coming out to deal with Chimeras, but even if he deals with Chimeras, he just does not have enough for the ground army, because there's only 2 knights here, no 3rd hero yet, it's still in production, MK is level 1, and this Demon Hunter is just going to town right now. No mana on any of the heroes. These bears are just unkillable with so few units, and it's kind of just a slaughter this time. Honestly, a lot different from the first game, but closer to what I was thinking could be possible based on how I've viewed Dohda's MMR before the game when I was checking out his stats. So maybe this is more of his real MMR, whereas the first game maybe he just was trying some tavern hero stuff and it just didn't work out as well as he liked. Nwilliams calls the game, and that one was pretty convincing for Dohdah. It's 1-1 right now. Close game from the first game, but second game was just comfortably in Dohda's favor. Nwilliams didn't manage to get his towers up at the expo, and then he ended up using a TP on his Archmage and losing the Archmage right after, which he just couldn't really recover from at that point. You can't really recover from that when the Demon Hunter's getting too much XP. And as we can saw, he did end up reaching level 5 and even level 6 at the end there with the DH, which is way too much for human to deal with when they only have level 4-1 and 3rd hero not even out yet. So yeah, that was a rough game for Nwilliams. We'll see if he'll be able to change it up here. Maybe he'll get his towers up faster at the expo. Maybe he'll play 1 base or a tower push. Not sure. Not sure what the 3rd map is either, but should be able to see in a second. Probably throw up the player card again, because why not? Rather than seeing this chat box, I guess. Yeah, it is going to be Nwilliams' loser map pick. I'm not sure what the map was, but hopefully it's something Nwilliams is comfortable with. And it looks like it's going to be Northern Isles. They decided to have Dohdah do the host this time. Maybe they thought it wasn't getting the proper ping when Nwilliams did it, so they switched it up. Yeah, let's jump back into it. Okay, Northern Isles coming up. I do believe humans prefer this map because it's a good map for humans to get level 3 on. They can also either fast expo They can get level 3 through like split creeping on militia. Even though it's a long map, they can harass while doing it, usually before the elf even gets level 3 themselves. So there's basically just a lot of options for the human here. We'll see what he opts for. If he goes for instant expo, if he goes for green into expo, he could go Tuskars into green into expo, or Tuskars into green into expo into green. You know, there's all sorts of things human can do. It's tough to say. Dohdah, on the other hand, going for, it looks like, the expansion creep, but he did place his AOW quite a ways away, so this is going to be a slow creep. I'm trying to think what else he can do, like I was thinking maybe he could creep something else while it's walking over, but I think he's just going to do it from the start. But it's definitely going to be slow because the Ancient of War was placed here rather than somewhere over here. And that's a lot of extra distance for an AOW to walk early on when they walk pretty slow. Footman harass is pretty annoying. But yeah, Tuskar is definitely very popular. Goldmine, I would say, is less popular because if human, well, basically if this gets scouted, it can be harassed pretty well. So yeah, we see the drawback here. Look how long he's going to have to wait now. So this is definitely quite awkward, not having the Ancient of War closer. Looked like it was probably late as well, because his DH got out really quickly. I think his DH only should have been out like right now. But yeah, we see he's kind of lost, going for the Footman. And not a bad choice when you have nothing to do while the Ancient of War is walking over. But nwilliams should be able to just run this away, and then Dohdah's either going to spend a lot of time chasing it or not get his creeping done. He goes back to the creep because the Ancient of War aggroed. This is actually going to be extremely awkward for Dohdah. He might need a third wisp here because there's Bloodlust on 3 creeps already. He only has 1 archer. And that's the drawback of simply placing the Ancient of War too far away. He will probably be fine, but it looks like he's taking some damage on his DH. Not what you like to see. Let's look at nwilliams' side. He decided to indeed go for the small green into the expo. So it's going to likely be a fast expo. Would be nice if he sent these back and sent 3 new peasants over, because otherwise they are going to be very vulnerable. Or I think the other choice nwilliams has here is to build a tower and a shop first, and then the expansion. Because honestly, a shop wouldn't be bad with 2 half-health footmen and 3 red and orange health peasants. It's definitely a bit slow. You'd prefer not to, but the value you would get out of a regen scroll after he's taken this much damage is pretty good. Dohdah, on the other hand, finally manages to get this creep done. Heading over to the small green after, gets double claws, which is definitely scary because Demon Hunter is like 75% of your damage up until you have bears. So, you know, adding more damage to that damage is definitely scary for the human. He didn't go for a fast expo this time. Maybe he's still just debating it, like wants to confirm that nwilliams expanded himself. Or maybe he just has wood troubles because he didn't produce enough wisps to expand right away. Getting an early shop as well, so he'll have access to a staff, which can be pretty valuable for expansion harass, to be able to tank a bunch with one of your heroes and then just staff it out. Yeah, with that slow AOW creep, he's only level 2 right now, and nwilliams managed to expand and get level 3 already. Nwilliams didn't, however, heal up his footman, so this harass is a little awkward.
Player's forces are under
But
attack.
all you really need is the Archmage, and Archmage with Pendant can produce a lot of elementals, especially before the Demon Hunter is level 3. So yeah, we see like the 3rd elemental here already. I think he had 2 before. It would be nice if he runs his Archmage here though, because he would like to be able to get enough mana to... Uh-oh. nwilliams! You get smacked, dude!
Player's forces are
No,
under
the
attack.
tree! He was actually close to dying to a mana burn. I think he had 34 health, and mana burn does... what is it, like 38 or something? But yeah, now it's looking a lot more awkward for nwilliams. Now, the one good thing about that is the tree smack means the XP was denied, and not giving the Demon Hunter extra XP is actually good. Of course, it would have been better to not lose the Archmage at all, but if you are going to lose the Archmage, don't give him XP. Now, he really needs this guard tower up, and I don't think he'll be able to out-repair it, especially against these claws. So, this is going to actually be a problem. If he did have this guard tower up, I think this push would be a lot less scary. But with only 1 arcane, it's actually quite awkward to fight off these heroes. He is doing a good job draining the mana though. Naga is already almost dry. And he does have double barracks, going tier 3. I think he should produce more footmen and defend rather than rifles if he's going to do tier 3 play. You really don't need
Player's forces are under attack.
rifles right away. You just can go footmen, defend, straight into priest plus knights, and you should be good. But rifles can have some merit if you're afraid of lots of dryads right away. And dohdah is actually looking to produce dryads probably with the abolish magic coming. So maybe it'll work out. And yeah, his dohdah's heroes are basically out of mana here. Naga's getting extremely weak. So nwilliams does manage to hold on. Did take some losses, of course, but... oh, he will actually have to lose his TP here on the Archmage unless he gets some insane blocks. Because there's boots on the DH. That's a little bit awkward for nwilliams. He does have a shop, however, so not worst case scenario. But he has already broke 50 food. He's going for MK again. I really think Blood Mage and Naga, either one of those are generally better against Demon Hunter. But he seems to be a huge fan of the MK. MK is of course extremely powerful, but not when you're facing an early level 3 demon. Oh no! Oh no! nwilliams, no! He lost track of his hero. It ran too fast up front. He had another TP as well, but he just wasn't paying attention quick enough. And yeah, we see another fight where nwilliams just has a bunch of units here. Like, he has the unit advantage, but he just simply does not have a hero anymore. So I think that's his biggest struggle, is not paying attention to his heroes enough. Losing the Archmage there. Like, the first Archmage loss, of course, was rough, but he could deal with it. But that Archmage loss is a bit too much. Now he's in a pretty awkward spot because Demon Hunter is already 4, and your MK has only just come out of the altar. Wait, he's not... oh, I thought he was teching... wait, wasn't he teching tier 3? Did he cancel it? Or was I mistaken and it was tier 1 to tier 2 that I saw? It might have been tier 1 to tier 2. I thought it was tier 2 to tier 3 already. Okay, nwilliams is actually not in the greatest spot. Our human player is going to have a rough time against this DH Naga and a couple Dryads. The heroes are simply too strong. Like normally, human can fight this off by just turning around and right-clicking the elf heroes and stuff. But when nwilliams does not have his Archmage, and when he has an MK that's level 1 rather than like a Naga or Blood Mage level 1, it actually becomes a huge problem to try to fight this. Yeah, as we can see, this demon with all this damage, Orb of Venom, is just too much. Rifles are dropping. And nwilliams kind of just... I think he just sticks around too long after his heroes die. You really just need to run away even though you're going to take losses. Because this method also takes losses, but like, you're not really getting much out of it. I think in those situations he just needs to just get out, accept that you lost your hero, and just run away with your units. I think he's sad right now at losing his hero again, because he's lost his hero a lot. In all the games, actually. Even the first game that he won. Yeah, dohdah has his expansion up now. He has it queued up to be fully saturated, but it's only got 2 wisps right now. And nwilliams finally has his hero back again. But bears are out. And he immediately has to TP. He really shouldn't be taking these fights when he has such a level deficit and he doesn't have all of his heroes. Maybe a little bit too aggressive from our human player. It'd be better for him to target this creep, this creep, this creep, you know, something safe and off to the side rather than heading to the center. You simply just can't accomplish much as a human when you're in that big of a deficit in hero levels and army. So you really just need to play safe. He does, however, head back to the center again, but he just simply does not have enough to fight this. Like, he might be able to pick off a bear here. Well, okay. Actually, with these coming in, it's actually looking quite okay for nwilliams in this fight. But, you know, he doesn't have anything to really chase with. He's got 1 Sork, but there's too many Dryads. I mean, he fought off the elf, but he's just not going to accomplish much. Level 1 MK is not going to be able to... Well, I mean, if he mismichaels the bear. Okay, he ended up picking off a bear, but level 5 Demon Hunter coming out is just going to eventually take over this fight. Archmage quickly dies, just a few whacks of this DH at level 5 and everything dies. This Naga needs to be a little careful, so does the MK. Okay, Naga runs away. He actually gave the boots over, or no, he bought a second pair of boots. That's expensive. Yeah, this DH just too strong. You simply can't fight this as human until your like second hero is also like level 3. Tavern rebuy is coming out from nwilliams. He still even has 600 gold left over, but this is just going to be like a dieback. You know, got the dohdah terms coming out. Dieback, boys. Oh, that MK. Just quickly fed again. He does pick off a bear here, but fighting a vampire at DH that's level 5 is just... You're just not going to accomplish enough here. Okay, he does finally pull out this time. I think he really needs to pull out sooner and just get to creeping himself. Because these fights are just slowly feeding the elf heroes instead. Yeah. Even without the claws anymore, because he passed them to the Naga, which I do think is a good choice. The DH hits pretty hard, and the Naga also hits pretty hard now. Naga is doing, what is that? 61 to 71 damage. DH doing 44 to 66 damage when it has roar. Like that's pretty scary. Not to mention Orb of Venom as well, doing damage over time. And yeah, just hero focus. Elf heroes are too strong at this point, so just hero focus. Nice staff from dohdah. There was a Stormbolt coming in on the Naga. He manages to get it out. And Rejuve coming in. Going to allow him to stay here longer if he likes. And with DH about to reach level 6, there's not a ton these human units will be able to do pretty soon. Gets a good mana burn off. MK is now out of mana again. Still not level 3 as well. Archmage also not level 4, so he doesn't have level 2 aura. Yeah, these knights are overextending a bit. You definitely shouldn't be fighting this. You should be dodging as much as possible and getting up levels. But yeah, this demon is just way too spooky. Demon coming in. Metamorphosis out. Superman gives his regards. This human army is no more.
Players forces are under attack.
I mean, nwilliams doing what he can. He's trying to get the Naga, but Boots too fast. Does have one more bolt, but the bear ends up getting staffed out. And now this MK is the focus of the heroes, and just dies quickly to a few hits from these high damages. And Naga with Boots just running away again. dohdah has another bank again of 2k plus gold, but no wood again. Archmage going down. And yeah, dohdah seems to have trouble with producing enough wisps for wood, but so his macro's a bit lacking. But he's just creating too much of an advantage in the early and mid game with his focus fire of DH Naga on heroes and units. You know, goes for the heroes when he can, switches to the units after the heroes get too far away. Hero comes back in, switches focus again to the heroes, and he's getting a lot of kills on them. That Archmage dies extremely quick. And yeah, now he's going to be able to just jump right up again. Does need to 80 food, but he does need another Moonwell to do so. He's also lacking on upgrades, which is also likely the problem of, or likely a result of his wood problem. But yeah, so nwilliams has a little bit of time here. However, it's going to be hard to creep up to 3 Paladin and 3 MK, especially when the MK is currently dead. But we'll see what he can do. Archmage MK Paladin is definitely very powerful. A little less powerful when you're, you know, facing a level 6 Demon Hunter. But human heroes are pretty strong. However, this elf army is looking very scary for the human right now. Towers die quickly to hero damage and some magic damage from the Chimera. And these peasants are just fodder now. nwilliams coming to fight. He does have Inner Fire. Was that? I think it's just stolen though, right? Yeah, he still is only adept on his priest. It's stolen from the creeps. Knights coming in, but they just won't do much when there's 2 Chimeras out. High level heroes. Superman shows up once again. And this human army without the tri-hero, Archmage only just coming back, MK still in the altar. There's just not much the human can do at this point. Level 7 Demon Hunter is just way too much. You can kind of just honestly solo the human army at this point. Yeah, these heroes just die extremely quickly. William calls it. Dohdah ends up getting the victory. And that's 2-1 for Dohdah. Williams did manage to take the first game on Amazonia in a very close game. But in the end, Dohdah came back with 2 wins using DH Keeper and then DH Naga, instead of the first game where he went Beastmaster Naga.